Hi everyone, welcome back to Mouth and Matter. If you're new here, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. My name is TT, and yeah, let's get right into this. So for today's pick, I said we do purple hyacinth, and we're going to do that. I actually had to go and Google how to pronounce it just for this video, but it was right in my mind. It was right in my mind, so I was happy. So if you're new here, basic framework is I talk about the plot, talk about the characters, my likes, then my dislikes, then it's theory time, then I give it a rating, and then my final thoughts. So getting right into this, let's talk about the plot. The plot is based in this world, and the timing is very vague because they purposefully don't put a time on it, which I think is very smart. So you don't want to date your thing, but I would have to say it pulls from early 19, let's say early 19, or maybe 18. I don't want to say 19. I'm not sure, but it's a time in which I think I want to say late 1800s actually. That kind of makes sense. I want to say the late 1800s. It kind of pulls from there. There are cars, but like and people. There are cars, but like people. It's not that advanced. It's not like you can see television or you can't things like that. And what's going on? And there's the monarchy as well. Though monarchy is still going on today, but yeah. So what's going on in this world? There's a monarchy, and then there's this group of group of revolters who are trying to overthrow the monarchy. And there was this occasion in which they kind of bombed the whole train station. So our main character, our protagonist Lauren, she's trying to hunt them down, see who they are, stop them because they hurt people who were very close to her in that part. She's an officer. And then we have our other protagonist who works in that organization. So they just, yeah. So time to get into our characters. There's Lauren. Lauren, our main character, she has an eye for detail, critical eye for detail. She wants things to get done. She cares about her friends, cares about the people who are around her very, very, very deeply. Like I said, she cares about people around her very, very, very deeply. But she's also very impulsive. She can be a bit careless, and I guess that's just her passion coming through, but it can be a bit And then we have Kieran, who is the other, main character in this. He is the one working for the purple hyacinth. By the way, about Lauren, I can't believe I forgot to say this about her, but she has this affinity for knowing when people are lying. So it's just in the inflection in the voice. She just knows when they're lying. It's nothing spectacular. I don't think anything has to do with any kind of weird thing in her genealogy. She just knows when people are lying. Some people are like that. It actually kind of reminds me. I'll actually go into that later. So let's just go into Kieran. Kieran, he like is a very skilled killer, knows what he's doing, very succinct. He's no wastage of time. He gets what needs to be done, gets it done, so on and so forth. Seems very self-serving. He's here for his own motives. At the end of the day, he just wants to find out what's going on. I think he's very let's say before we'll probably get to see this change later on, but he seems like he's going to do whatever it takes to get him to the top. He doesn't care who is double crossing, doesn't care what's going on. He just needs to get to know what he wants to know. So yeah, so that's Kieran and that's Lauren. So on to my likes. The first one, art. The art was beautiful. The art was really good. The motion and the fluidity that came with it, stunning. It was great. The way they draw the eyes here, amazing, beautiful, stunning. I couldn't have asked for anything better. It was really, really good. Next one is, I love how it starts. I liked how we get to see the people's an insight into what our characters are. Like we see Lauren's a really quick thinker. She's really fast on her feet and can make really, really good like split-second decisions. And I like how she has like great skills of deduction as well. And which brings us to the third thing, like what I said, like she can see when people are lying. Which is a very cool premise. Like it reminds me of this one series that I read when I was younger called The Naturals, and it was about this group of kids who had these like things that aren't like specifically like super powers or anything. They're just things that maybe normal people don't really have on the regular. So this one girl, I think she knows when people are lying. Was it the one girl? I think it was the guy. There was one guy who knew when people are lying, one who was really, really super smart. I think the main character could sort of deduce something about a person by just seeing them. It was actually a pretty cool series. I don't think I finished it though. But yeah. So just and I like how they draw the lies as well. When someone's lying without us having to like, oh, know that, oh, okay, this person's lying. The creators also draw the letters in red, which is different than the standard black in the rest of the webtoon. So that was nice. The next one is that I love a hot, mysterious, raven-haired man in my media. I love it so much. I'm addicted to it. I love it so much. Inject it, consume it. I need it in my life. I love, and he has blue eyes. I keep saying Wattpad did a number on me, but it really did do a number on me. But like, I'm trying to like get away from that, but at the same time, you're gonna give me a guy who he has black hair and then he now has blue eyes on top, and he's mysterious on top, and he has that bad boy vibe on top. What's a girl to do? Next one is Kim. I love Kim. We love her in this house. I didn't put him here too, but I also love William. William's great. Just a great supporting cast right here. They are really good characters. I love them so much. I love how they're so sweet and so kind with each other, but at the same time they have their own baggage as well. So, which we haven't gotten to, which makes me really excited for season 2 actually. Next one is that it reads so cinematically. Like the webtoon, the entire webtoon reads very cinematically. Like, I always say this, but I see webtoons and comics and books and everything like that, I see them as their own art form, and they don't need to be validated by people who watch movies or series. Like, I don't think this is like a stepping stone onto something greater, because it's already, this medium is already really good. So people who see, like, let's say pure like films in live action as like top tier, I personally don't believe in that. But like, if they did want to adapt this into film, I think it would make a great like film series. I really do. I think it'd make a great film series. It was really great. It kind of reminded me of what's it called? I think The Alienist. Yeah, I think it's The Alienist. With that one, I think her name is Dakota Johnson, Dakota Fanning. One of the Fanning sisters had them. It was actually a good series. And yeah. Next one is that this man is really stunning. This Kieran man, really stunning. Like, I'm out here trying not to fall in love. I'm out here trying not to ship the two of them together, because like, but he's actually really fine. He's actually really fine. But you know what? Like, I've been raising all the small boys I've been calling cute in my last series. All of them. We know them. Aiden's a cute guy. All these other ones, they're all cute. They're all cute, small. They're all small. This one, Kieran is fine. He is beautiful. This is a man. This is what it needs to be. Like, he's so beautiful, it's a crime. It's a crime. It is a crime. It is honestly a crime. Do not slap handcuffs on him because he's a killer. Slap handcuffs on him because you can't be this fine in this life. You just cannot. You cannot. And honestly, they make a really beautiful pair as well. They look really cute. There's some shots where, you know, the creators, like, they draw them together and they're face to face with each other, they're close to each other, and they just look so good together. Next one is, there is something ingrained in me, which is really bad, but like, and I'll talk about it later on if I remember it, but something ingrained in me, that toxic, dangerous violence that equates to like love that the patriarchy has shoved down my throat. Like, it just, when he has a like a sword against her throat, there's something about it. It does something to me. It's not good, but there's that tension. Next one is that the music is actually really good. There's this one tune that felt really repetitive and seemed out of place sometimes. It felt like some kind of tango song. It was good in some scenes, like, oh my gosh, there was one when they were fighting against each other, and they were fighting against each other, and they were telling each other what they knew about the case. They had just literally just become partners, and they were just, you know, fighting and telling each other what was going on. I think the music worked well then. As a good use of the music. But yeah, other times the music is really good. I put it in my like section because it kind of adds to the atmosphere sometimes. Really distinct. The next one is that I like all the tension. I love all the tension that's going on. Okay, the tension is great. Tension between Kieran and Lauren, fantastic. I mean, you get someone who's a cop and someone who's literally someone who's killing people. That's great. Then we get the romantic tension between them. Fantastic. Then it's just so good. Then we get the tension from their morality and their different moral compasses. Amazing. Then we also have the tension between her and the head chief, that Chief Herman, which I'll talk about later. Great. I love it. Tension of if they're going to get caught, if Lauren is going to get caught. I get it. Next one is that Kieran killing the Phantom Scythe members, which is the group that he's part of. He's part of the Phantom Scythe, but he himself is called the Purple Hyacinth because he leaves those kind of flowers whenever he kills people, and they actually mean what does it mean? Forgive me or I'm sorry. That's what the flower itself means. And the great thing about that, it's also the family crest of the monarch people that they're trying to overthrow. So that in itself, people are like, he does it as a mocking, taunting way to mock them, but also it means, forgive me, I'm sorry. So yeah, him killing the Phantom Scythe members that were locked up in jail, that they themselves, Lauren and Kieran had put into jail by them going them and getting the information they wanted, leaving the police to go get them. That in itself, him killing them off and killing all the guards in the tower, fantastic. That was great. That was like a double cross on a pre-existing double cross. It was fantastic. I loved it so much. I was like, wow, you really went against Lauren's back, but you were already going against the Phantom Scythe's back, and then by then you're already still going against the Phantom Scythe's back because you already were going with I love that entire thing. And then the end, this is my last one, the end, where Kieran ends up working at her job as like an archivist. Beautiful. That was stunning. That was great. That is how to leave on a cliffhanger. Everybody take notes. That is fantastic. I don't know what else to say. That was great. That was fantastic. So that's my like section. On to my dislike section. So first one, the panels are artistic. Like I said, the art is fantastic, but sometimes it gets confusing. I think it has the devil is a handsome man kind of problem, which the art is really good, but like they do this kind of close-up shots, these little panels, and it's like confusing, like what am I supposed to be looking at here? I'm not getting what's going on here, so that's confusing. Next one is, I like my black hair blue-eyed boy, but I don't like the way he talks sometimes. I don't mind it when they're relaying information to each other when they're talking normally, but when he says stuff like darling and when he's trying to flirt, something about it rings very cringe. And I'm like, no, it's okay, you ain't gotta add all that. It's not the way he talks, it's just not what it needs to be. It just wasn't good. It just wasn't a good time. There was one time when he keeps calling her darling and sweetheart and just really flirtatious things, and it comes across as very cringe. It could be very cute or very like but it doesn't come across that way. And you know what, I would have loved it if he just kept on calling her officer or something like that in a very taunting way. Like if you want to call her a pet name, just call her officer. I don't mind that. I think that's actually cool if you don't want to call her real name, because that's the whole distancing thing, and when you eventually call her Lauren, it has a special kind of impact on it. But like calling her officer might have been nice or something instead of the darling, if you still want to keep that whole, I want to hold off on calling her by her real name. So that was great. No, that's my dislike section. Anyway, next thing is that there are usually this big entire caps lock text, which is Lauren's narration, and something about it just feels very clunky, and it kind of breaks up the whole pace of the story. Like it slows down the pace of the reading. And I actually have an entire, like, there was one scene that was like, okay, this is too much. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes I can just be like, okay, it's fine, I'll go through it, it's fine, it's okay. But there was this one scene in episode 6, I actually have it right here. Now, we just got done seeing like Kieran being revered by all his other comrades. He came back to like the Phantom Scythe like headquarters. We see him getting revered by all his comrades in in the Phantom Scythe. They're telling him, they're talking about him. They're like, oh my gosh, this guy has the most kills in here. Like, oh, he has more deaths than anyone else. Like, and you know what? We sort of already gathered that he's dangerous. Fine, we know that he's dangerous. We know what we've seen from him. We know that he's fast. We know that he's dangerous. We know that he's a killer, and we know that he leaves purple hyacinth. That was perfect for me as a reader. I'm fine with all of that. I'm fine. You telling me, okay, he has the most deaths, cool. That's a little bit extra information, but like I would have already gathered that he was a dangerous killer. But that's fine. I actually don't mind that one. But that's pretty much all we need. But then the next episode is basically Lauren telling us what we already know, and I'll put the pictures up. I'm sure I'll put the pictures up. But like it was a bit like redundant. It's a bit redundant. In the next episode, Lauren's telling us that big clunky text, like, oh my gosh, he was the person I just came like head to head with. That was the purple hyacinth. Oh my gosh, I could have gotten killed by him. He has more deaths than anyone else. Oh my gosh, blah blah blah. I'm thinking, but we just got done knowing all of that. You know, it's a bit. The next one is, there was this one thing, like I said, the way he talks sometimes, it's supposed to be sexy. It is supposed to be sexy, but it comes across so not as. He was like, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? It just wasn't. It wasn't needed. It was kind of weird. You've just taken me out of like this suspension of belief. I give a lot of leeway to what I read, but like now I'm like thinking, who in their right mind, who in this real life would say something like that? Who would say, have you ever danced with the devil in the in the pale moonlight? You could have left it like, have you ever danced with the devil or something like that? That would have been cheeky. Would have been, that's a big cringe, because I have a bit of a problem and I'll talk about it later, but like, it's a big cringe, but you know, yeah. Next one is that Lauren, oh, this made me mad. Lauren ripping off one of the guys that she's, that the two of them suspected, but not suspected, knew they went in the Phantom Scythe. She ripped off his, like, the thing that they had put across his head. She ripped it off, confronted him. She was like, who is this person? Because she saw the guy before, she knows who the person is, and she was a bit rattled, even though they had had said, you're not going to be seen, because we can't let you be seen, because hey, people think that it's two men as loon, not one man, one woman. Fine. And you also can't be using your voice, because they'll know this is a woman talking. Fine. And she also has really distinct eyes, because everybody keeps saying, okay, she has really like gold, pensive, cute eyes, so on and so blah blah blah. So like, it's like you have three things that could really make you look distinct, and your hair was showing too. So it's like, why would you risk that? Why would you do that? Like, you know what, if it was, I can't come up with an excuse for this. I cannot come up with an excuse for this. I'm actually thinking, but you knew what you were going to be looking for. You knew why you embarked on this journey to come and bring down the Phantom Scythe. You already knew who this person was in the photograph. You knew that they were lying when you questioned them before. You knew they were part of the Phantom Scythe. So you ripping off the bandage so that they could see who that person was when you already knew. It's like, if it was, okay, I have an excuse. If it was, let's say, William, if it was one of her friends now, I would have been like, okay, that's maybe a reason. But then again, you could argue that's not a reason. You could have been like, oh, okay, that person's close to you. Maybe they're investigating police members now. Maybe that's a reason. But I'm out here thinking, like, that shouldn't have been excused. You already had a connection. You already knew that that person in the photograph had a connection to that train thing that you've been methodically trying to look for trails. So now that you've seen it, now what? Not like you knew it, right? So it just was the reason. You're a police officer. You know to keep your calm. You know to keep your chill. So it just doesn't make sense. It just didn't make sense to me. Like, you know better. You already sanctioned for doing this kind of impulsive shit. So it was like, Why? What was the reason for doing that? Next one is when she called him a monster, when she called Kieran a monster, and he laughed and he was like, wait, you actually thought I was human? And that kind of brings it back to the whole, have you ever danced with the devil in pale moonlight? I hate when people self-proclaim how bad they are and how dangerous they are. It's like immediate, like you could be dangerous. I mean, this man has killed, he's a serial killer, this man, at this moment. But at that moment, when you're telling me how bad you are and how you're not human and how you're actually a monster and everything, it's like, let's keep out your mouth there. Like, immediately takes me out, immediately brings out any sort of bad factor that you have. Because I'm like, you don't need to self proclaim it for me. Like, it just reads as cringe for me. So that's my dislike section done. So on to theory time. So there's a theory floating around. We already know what it is. Everyone's talking about how Kieran might be Dylan. Dylan is a childhood friend of Lawrence who we previously thought died inside that train explosion, so and so, blah blah. And you know what? That theory holds some weight. It holds some weight. It makes some sense. He's good at stitching wounds. Lauren's really good at not Lauren. Kieran's really good at stitching wounds. He stitched her wound. He kind of like fused back her ankle dislocation. He's good at that. He's the one who has been working as the purple scythe. So obviously he's come face to face with people who want to hurt him and who want to, in that line of work. So obviously he knows how to do his own stuff. And Dylan, as a kid, wanted to be a doctor. That's what he said. That's what has been told to us and relayed back to us. That's number one. Number two, we never saw the body of Dylan. We only saw his heart in the explosion. He could be alive. Number three, he has an affinity towards flowers, both of them. Kieran leaves purple hyacinths when leaves around as a sort of like remorseful kind of thing, and it can also, if people are like, oh, why is he feeling remorseful, we can be like, nah, I'm just taunting the family crest, so and so, blah blah. And Dylan grew up with a father who knows about all that kind of things, and he knows about all that kind of things, very knowledgeable. There was a scene where he almost told her what the meaning of a purple hyacinth was, but we never got that, which I thought was so the author's just yanking things back. Quite good. And we all know that he doesn't like killing. We all know about that. We know, this is what he wanted to be doing. And he actually wanted to be out here saving lives and doing all that stuff as a doctor. Dylan wanted to be a doctor. Kieran is currently killing people. So you know what? It makes sense. He could have dyed his hair. He could be wearing contacts right now. It kind of makes sense. The only question for me that I would have is that why haven't you resurfaced since? The only question I would have is like, okay, but why haven't you resurfaced since? Why haven't you tried to contact Lauren and all that? That is my question for him. And how much of a horrible person would you have to be for you to see your friend struggling, see your friend obviously overwrecked and wrought with all this trauma that has happened, and for you to just be seeing her be like, cool, calm, whatever, blah blah. And by the way, little side thing, can we all just remember that Kieran is an actual killer? Like, I know I make fun a lot. I say, oh, all my toxic bad boys and so blah blah, but my guy literally had his hands around her neck and was choking her. So I just would like to remember that, when we're all doing our shipping and everything, it's fun, it's all funny, it's all cute, but like also like, this guy's an actual killer and he actually was choking her and she had actual bruises around her neck. So let's all just remember that. So yeah, so this whole Kieran maybe Dylan thing, it holds some weight. I see it happening. I actually really do see it happening. But also I really do think it could be a red herring as well. I really do think it could be a red herring, just because I have trust issues. This is good storytelling right here. They're giving us clues along the way, so it doesn't seem like completely out of the blue when we finally find out whether Dylan is alive or whether Kieran is Dylan. It's good, but also I just have trust issues. So that's one thing. Now, that whole theory, I'm not really hung up on that one. I have come up with another one. Now, walk with me. Here's what I think. I think the uncle is part of the purple. I think the uncle is part of the purple the Phantom Scythe. And you know what? I'm not the first one to think about it. I'm not. So this is not a unique theory. This is not unique in the least. We've already been new. They've been shading the character very like shadily. So we're like, okay, this could be it. So it's not a new theory. But you know what I think? I think it goes deeper than that. I think it actually really goes deeper than that. I really love the one with Kieran and Dylan. That one, if it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, great too. But this one, I would love it if it was part of the Phantom Scythe. Right, that's number one. If it was part of Phantom Scythe, and the captain who is above Captain Herman, the one who's above Lauren, I would love it. I would love it if he has an inkling. If he has an inkling, but he just can't pin it onto him. If he has an inkling that no, this guy is a bad guy, but he can't pin it because obviously this is his superior, number one, and you can't just go out here throwing out accusations willy nilly if you don't have any proof. You know what I mean? And this is a syndicate. This is a thing that the thing's wrong deep. So if they have any inkling that oh this guy is onto us, they will kill him. So here's my thing. I think the captain knows, or at least has an inkling that hey, this guy is part of the Phantom Scythe, but I can't say anything. And now his niece works under me, so I think he's looking for any reason to keep her as far away from the investigation as possible for her own safety. So this little grudge that he has against her that has passed a year, that thing that she made a mistake, she acted on impulse that made her get demoted from a detective to an officer, and why she's not on the case anymore. I think it's honestly just because he doesn't want her anywhere the case for her own safety, and also for her not to leak anything to her uncle as well. That's my own thinking. And yeah, I mean, you can't really fire the girl without any good reason. I mean, you probably could, but it'd probably be unethical, like if she hasn't done anything bad. And also, like, you can't come and fire the uncle's niece for like no reason if you don't have a good reason for it. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm trying to keep her away. I would love if that actually came out to be right. I would love it so much. So yeah, that's my theory section done. Time for rating. I give this an 8/10. My final thoughts: there are some things that I liked, even though I wasn't really feeling the relationship. Like I said, this guy is toxic. We make jokes, we laugh, we love it low key, but like also like this guy, he's a killer. Like what else can I say? Other than he kills people? What else can I say except for that? But even with that, I think that they could really draw emotion out of me with the way they just draw these characters. Like I said, they look really good together. So when you're giving me scenes with them face to face with each other, like I have to low-key scroll about it. I really do. It was really good. It was altogether just a really good webtoon. I do wish there were more black characters there. Like y'all really couldn't like draw one black character, just one. I don't even think there was one. I don't think there was one black character. I didn't see any black character. If there were, it has completely gone out of my mind. I don't think, is there any? And that's the tea. Like honestly, I've grown up with my media not having zero representation, and I've loved the books that I've read, and I've loved the movies that I've watched or the shows that I've watched, regardless without the representation. But also like I'm older now, and I can demand more, because hey, like being only seeing white characters should not be the norm. You know what I mean? It really should not be the norm. It shouldn't be that thing. So that's my own case. Yeah, it's a great story, and other than that, it was really good. I'm really looking forward to season 2. That cliffhanger was immaculate. It was really good. And yeah, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to comment anything down you want to comment. Watch my playlist. I have quite a few out. I have webtoon recommendations, webtoon reviews, I have my character assassinations, I have my problematic fave section, and yeah.